Oh hey, you know that feeling when you just want to put down your tools, put down your paints, and get the out of the house? Great, because we're gonna go on a field trip. So here's the deal. A few weeks ago, channel best friend Rachel and I were walking to dinner in Thai Town. We were walking down Hollywood Boulevard and we passed an establishment and it caught my eye and I said, hold on, can we just pop in here for a second? And what I discovered was that there was a colorful, maximalist, incredible home decor store that absolutely 100% fit my exact aesthetic. And the owner was there. She kept the store open late for us. We sat, we talked for like an hour, and I said, I wish my subscribers could see this. And that's when I decided, wait, I'm gonna come back and do a store tour with the owner and they will see it. And so I would formally like to welcome you guys to our first official store tour at Oxford House Projects. I am sitting here with Jennifer Lehr, interior designer, stylist, writer, creative, event planner, and most importantly, owner of Oxford House Projects. Welcome.
I'm so happy that you're here. I love your show and I love what you're doing and I love how you're so generous with so many ideas that are so helpful and inexpensive and just, you know, I just love what you're doing. I mean, it's amazing that we're just so simpatico. Like, she is the perfect customer to come in through the door because appreciates every little detail.
Truly, you guys. I have been to the store 3 times and I have stayed for over an hour each time just talking to Jennifer and picking her brain. And this is why I wanted Jennifer to come on the show, because we had such a fascinating conversation and she had so many ideas that I was like, I wish my subscribers could be here with me, and we decided to make that happen. So today we're gonna tour the store, ask Jennifer some hot burning maximalist questions, and get to see this beautiful place. Starting off, what inspired you to open this beautiful store?
COVID, really. Before COVID, I had an event venue and was really producing weddings, and I think one of the things that people loved was that it was almost a turnkey event because I had styled the whole space, and it was almost like my version of a Father of the Bride.
Oh, totally.
So it was in that kind of setting, but it was more this aesthetic. Of course, COVID came, nobody was getting married, nobody was doing anything. So I had to close and sell the property. And then I sat in the backyard ruminating, and I just finally decided I really just wanted to open my own space again, because I love having my own space. You know, I've done interior design for so many years, I've thrown events for so many years, I've collected treasures for so many years, but I never had a place that was like a calling card of my whole aesthetic. You know, next door is Vintage Vortex, and my kids shop there all the time, a great vintage store. And so I was just picking them up, and I saw this space. It's the soaring 14-foot ceilings in a 1920s building, which is what I love. Fell in love with the space, and I just went for it.
That is such a great story. I love hearing this so much, and you guys know, like, life happens, changes happen, and like what a beautiful pivot to like create this space, which if you guys don't know, so we're sitting on Hollywood Boulevard where it is a city, grungy, hardcore, and when you walk into this, you had told me you wanted it to be like Dorothy walking into Wizard of Oz. We have like these gorgeous yellow walls, color, pattern, everything.
I know, I wish I had a trained camera on people's faces when they walked in, because people go, wow, where am I? Like, if I could just do a cut of everybody's face when they walk in, which is so great for me.
So she specializes in vintage, antique, just beautiful curated collections from like lamps to textiles to furniture. It's absolutely beautiful. Were you always a colorful maximalist?
You know, I wasn't. I grew up in a beige house. And to be fair to my parents, my father was a private art dealer, so it showed off all the art. So the art was very colorful, but the house was beige. You know, I think I just thought that's how you do houses. And then it took me a while to really embrace color. People are afraid of color. And I think I was too. You know, and then once you embrace it, it's just like so freeing. Like you can just do anything, and just, it's not hard to make things that don't appear to go together.
Interestingly, I know you guys, some of you guys have told me before that you were not colorful maximalists until you started watching my channel. And you guys know I have a colorful maximalist agenda and I am trying to take over America. So, you know, one store at a time. Another thing you talked about was the concept of Hamish. Will you tell the people about that?
Hamisha.
Oh, yeah, Hamisha.
It's a Yiddish word that my grandparents used to say. Generally, it means warm, welcoming, and cozy. I like elegant things, but I like them cut with a feeling of Hamisha, so that it's elegant and warm and welcoming and comfortable. Because I don't want to walk into a house that is so precious and that you feel like you're soiling it just by being there.
Completely.
I want my guests to feel like they can just sit down and put their legs up. And the truth is, if you create a really warm, welcoming space that's comfortable, you can actually hang out there more and get into deeper conversations and have a more joyful time. It's like it does impact you.
Well, I love some of the stuff we've talked about. So let's go ahead and walk around the store and let's talk about some of the stuff you have in here that is just absolutely incredible. Look at this absolute gorgeous beauty. Tell us about this.
It really, it's part of a pear and Hollywood Regency 60s bamboo shaped but carved out of wood. But I've never seen them in this incredible kind of deep, dusty rose color. And this is the original upholstery with tassels in the back. But what's so incredible is that whoever owned them had put their own embroidery work onto the cushion. One of them has a tiger with bamboo. It's a great scene. This one has a sloth and a baby sloth.
You guys.
I'm crazy, you're sitting on two sloths. And yet, you know, it's pure magic.
Every time I come into the store, I want you to make your money, but I kind of pray that they haven't sold yet because I love them so freaking much. And so cool too that the person who owned it added their own handiwork to it, like some DIY queen.
Yes, exactly.
All right, let's look at another thing. Now, obviously, this is a beautiful store, it's a beautiful business, but there is actually one piece in here that Jennifer kind of doesn't want to sell.
I love it so much, and I use it in so many different ways, is this camel. It's actually a garden stool. It's Hollywood Regency from the 60s. I have used it as a stool. I've used it as a coffee table. I've used it to we've had events here where I put platters on it of food and it's like the centerpiece.
And I love, it's so genius to use it in so many different ways, in so many like iterations.
I love these garden stools. A camel is exceedingly rare, but elephants are not. I have many garden stools that are elephants. So for like a small space, it's like, when I say I want things Hamisha, it's like I want them to be comfortable, and one of the things about comfort is having a place to put your drink. You know, like so often people's coffee tables are too far away from the table, but if you have a side table, whether it's an elephant or something else, and just make it easy for people to put their drink down, so they're not reaching and coming back and reaching and coming back, it's so, makes entertaining so much more pleasant.
I think this is so genius. By the way, she has not named the camel. If you guys have suggestions, drop them below. Personally, I would never think to use like a garden piece as like interior furniture, but like this is absolutely genius. He's absolutely adorable. I personally have a huge obsession right now with just like animal sculptures and anything, and she has so many lovely ones around the store. I love that this is a little bit whimsical, but also very grand and like imposing kind of. Like it's just the best
and
of both.
worn.
Yes.
And worn. I mean, I
Yes.
love the ones with beautiful glazes, and I have several of them, but I do like that this patina on it is worn. You know, I put different fabrics here, so it actually changes it. I have a velvet pillowcase cover that has tassels that I just put that and then put a plant on it or a pot, and it just changes the feel of what fabric you lay on top.
So smart. I also want to point out, we have looked at a few of Jennifer's favorite things, but now we're gonna go to all of my favorite things in the store, starting with this absolutely incredible rattan caned set. This is 1930s from the Philippines. It is so detailed.
It was in great condition, but the cushions were shot. So I wanted to get a new cushion, have them upholstered in something that was neutral, but not too dull. I didn't want a solid. So I thought a kind of a jean navy stripe just made it very neutral.
And it's such a smart way to think too about like creating a base in a room, and then you can just add and like mix it up with whatever other like textiles you want. But absolutely beautiful. And of course, you guys know I have such an insane love affair with peacocks, and this incredible peacock chairs are very popular right now, and you see them in a lot of styles, but I have never seen one in this gorgeous motif. Absolutely beautiful. And while we're talking about peacocks, this gorgeous sofa, like settee or whatever, this has such a unique, incredible pattern on it. It actually looks like peacock feathers in sort of pink shades, variations. Even cooler, this is a trompe l'oeil, which means that, you know, when something is painted to look like something else, the pattern is like printed on, but it has these incredible embroidery pieces added to it so that it's kind of 2D and 3D. Such a gorgeous detail, and again, something that I will probably steal. I also have to point out one of my other favorite pieces, which is this incredible standing candelabra electric lamp, which is very cool, very rare, but that's for all my goth girlies who are, you know, decorating their vampire layers. Can you talk about just some of your favorite hacks to like make a room a maximalist space?
You know, I don't so much that I think about setting out to make it a maximalist space, but what I do is want to, you know, I kind of keep going until it reaches the point of cozy, or like there's the right mix. So yeah. I just love to mix shapes and periods, and basically I'm just somebody who finds everything I love and then finds a way to make it work. The benefit of going to places like here to Oxford House, but also all antique stores and flea markets and Target and Restoration Hardware, is really just to see what you genuinely gravitate towards. So many places, you know, Restoration Hardware will be beautiful, but it will be one look. And so it's like in this world we have to fight so hard against all that marketing to be an individual.
Totally.
And your home should just be like as unique as you are and reflect you and your interests, but delight you. Not even for everyone else, it's just like what delights you.
Especially if you're an eclectic girl like we are, you want to be able to like mix in everything from different styles and different time periods like you were saying.
But I also love textiles. I have learned so much about textiles over the years. I think in America, we in the United States, we're very exposed to textiles more from Mexico or South America, which I love. I work with a textile dealer that travels and brings back textiles that I've never seen the designs before. You know, textiles from Egypt, from Pakistan, from Uzbekistan. I think they just really add a richness to a space that you can't get another way, and they're works of art in and of themselves. So here's some of my beloved textiles, and these are some from India. Actually, this is from Nigeria, but what I really want to show you that I'm so excited about right now is these two new textiles I got from Pakistan. I have never seen anything like this. So beautifully quilted. It's hand quilted, but look at the flagging on it. And when they do flagging, like they do alternating all the colors of the flagging. Literally, you could put on your sofa and transform it. You can put it on a headboard and transform your bedroom, or put it on a deck over an outdoor sofa, or put it on a table for a party. It's just so festive, and it's a hanging piece. I mean, it's a work of art. One textile like this, and then you throw some orange or pink pillows with it, and it's just will light up your whole space. And I'll just show you the other one because it's another great design of this kind of pinwheel. They go to the effort to alternate all the colors. Like, these are bold and inviting and fun.
Whatever your style is, you're so right. Textiles can like 100% change your room. It can be like the only thing you decorate with, and it will make a room entirely different.
You know, having a gorgeous pillow to me is like also, in a somewhat similar way, an incredible painting. This is a very, very old textile, Indian. These are very old. You can just go crazy with them and they will work. You just have to kind of find a way to tie them together.
And sometimes you guys, you're not gonna get it right the first time, like we were talking about. Like, we sit and play with things. Yes. You like just get a feeling of like what you like, what works together. And some things you guys can just think about when you're curating pillows is like contrast in pattern size, in the scale of it,
Yes.
in colors. And I love too when something that you wouldn't think goes together actually is like very delightful. Also, one thing you did tell me was that like your secret hack that nobody ever notices is lampshades.
Lampshades, I think, are one of the least expensive ways to totally change the feel of your home. Because if you're standing up, lampshades are at that eye level that most things aren't, because all the furniture is below. So it kind of creates a whole feeling against that. And because so many people, maybe not any of your followers, but have white walls and are afraid to paint them, if you have white lampshades against white walls, you're just doing nothing for your life.
You guys know on this channel, I have remade lampshades before. It's also a great thing to thrift or to customize. I will link some videos below of some thrifted lampshades that I've made over.
Because lampshades are just such an opportunity to have fun. I have these pink pattern ones that are scalloped, and sometimes it will just be a contrast of like a wide linen. Then you'll see embrace metallic shades. I have brass shades that are etched, silver shades. The thing about metallics, copper, brass, gold, silver, is they're a neutral. They're like a beige, but a glamorous version of it. And they reflect, so they'll bring in other colors, but it's like, it adds a little glamour to a space, and it's so nice to have.
Yeah, and that's such a great point too, just mixing up the textures in a room when you kind of feel like it's a little empty or you just something's not right. Think about what texture you can like add to it. I think another thing I love about this store too is that there's so many things in this space that are just absolutely the most gorgeous things. And I'm such a fan of like kind of just like everyday objects or things that like might be on a bookshelf of just like curating the most incredibly gorgeous version of it. Like if you have a sugar bowl, make it beautiful. Look at the detail on the legs. I mean, the legs alone are like seashells with, just absolutely beautiful. So little things like this, especially if they're functional and like sitting out on your kitchen counter or something like that, like make them lovely, make them beautiful. Another thing when we were talking about that you said that blew my mind or that I really, really loved was you talked about when you're decorating a room, come up with your budget, but don't nitpick where portions of that budget go. Because for example, we often will balk at like the price of a pillow, but we'll gladly spend $400 on a giant table. And we really associate like size with value.
So true. I mean, really, like I will spend a lot of money on one pillow that will just elevate everything. You can get a very inexpensive rug and then spend the money on some, a great coffee table, but often you can really, coffee tables you can find for inexpensive price. So that's why when you find something special and unique, that's where you want to spend the money.
Yes, I love that. And we're always thrifting and things on my channel. And I also say like, this is why we thrift so that we can ball out when we find the thing we absolutely love.
And I will say, I invest in very high-end fake florals. And the reason I do it is because one, flowers are so expensive, and two, when you have really good ones, nobody knows, and I can tell you, nobody knows. It enables you to just fill in nooks and crannies with flowers, and then if you're entertaining, you can put them on the bar, you can put them on the coffee table, put them on the dining table, and really they're a way you can tie in different colors, but also they just lift a space, and it enables you to take a coffee pot and make it a vase. Don't just get a regular vase. Use something interesting as a vase. This elephant is a box to put flowers in it.
And you told me a brilliant tip about getting fake flowers.
Like certain flowers that you buy, let's say you buy roses, they'll be all too perfect. I tend to buy from like 2 or 3 vendors, so they're like different parts of blooms, so they don't look fake.
Was the most genius tip I had ever heard.
Because these are king proteas, and so I have 2 different colors of king proteas, but then different sizes. So I have 3 different manufacturers of king proteas, and then I mix it with some different species, give it a little bit more texture.
So smart, so beautiful, and you wouldn't even realize it. Now, one thing that I do notice you have around the store is something that not a lot of people think about when they think about decorating their homes, which is screens.
Yes, and especially if you have a small space, or today a lot of people have like an open space that goes from the living room to the dining room to the kitchen to the bedroom. What a screen does is it adds obviously a whole feel. If you have plain walls, it's like having a painting from the ground up. And what it also does, let's say you live in a studio apartment, if you have one in front of your bed, then it kind of makes a bedroom for you in a very inexpensive but super chic way. I mean, I think they're so chic. But even if you just have one in the corner of a room, they really change the feel. In my house, we have a very ugly door that separates our den from our kitchen, and anytime I'm entertaining, because I don't like it closed, I put a screen in front of it.
So
because
smart.
Everyone wants to go in the kitchen, and I don't want anyone in the kitchen.
Yes.
So it enables me to say, don't come in here, and still is beautiful.
As you're saying, they're functional, they're decorative, and they can also double duty. I love, one hack I love is using a screen as your headboard. I also, guys, in a future episode, I'm dying to DIY. If you haven't seen Jenna Lyon's apartment, she has a massive screen and every other panel is mirrored. So here's an example. In 2 seconds, Jennifer just pulled another screen out from the back, moved this in, grabbed this picture, and instant little living, if you lived in a studio, do this and you just created a living room.
And I'm going to show you something about the bench. I like the fabric, but it didn't go with the area that I did. So this is a great ECOT blanket. And look how dark this is. So that just was too dark for the space. And you can just do this. You just get a blanket and put some pillows, and then you have this really great piece. And then you can actually decorate the screen. I mean, I just held this up, but
Yeah.
just the idea that you can keep, adding to it. You can put a mirror on it.
Put a little planter here, 3 objects, and you've created a whole room.
Exactly.
It's beautiful. What a beautiful piece of art. Absolutely brilliant. I love it. All right, well, Jennifer, thank you so much for taking the time, for sharing your expertise and knowledge, for sharing your beautiful store, your beautiful things. You guys, I will have her store linked below. If you're ever in LA, please come, please enjoy. This has been an absolute delight, and I honestly think we will be back because Jennifer is an incredible wealth of knowledge.
I really love what you're doing, and it's a total honor to be here.
Thank you so much. Well, guys, that concludes our first official store tour, and I will be stealing everything in the store. Okay, bye.